My name is Alessandra Casarico and I teach the course in public economics. I've just prepared a couple of slides for you to have an overview of what we would like to do in this course. So what are the general, let me respect the limits which I have been given. So let me tell you first what are the general questions which are addressed in this course. The first one is, what is the effect of government intervention on economic outcomes? And the second one is, why do governments do what they do and why they choose to intervene in the way they do? So these are the general questions, and this course you can think of it as a sort of course in topics in public economics, and we will be mainly focusing on the expenditure side rather than on the revenue side of the budget. And these are a selection of the topics we are going to focus on in the course. I will start looking at social security and pension systems. I will be analyzing, for instance, what are the effects of a pension systems or of a different design of the pension systems on savings or on the labor supply and on the retirement decision. I will go in some detail into the analysis of pension reform issues, and I will study what is the interaction between, for instance, demographic changes, aging, and the design of pension systems. Then I will be looking at the second expenditure program within the welfare state, which is education. And I will be looking, for instance, at education financing and the different ways through which we can finance education and the different impact that this has on economic outcomes like growth or like income inequality or intergenerational mobility, for instance. We will be focusing on public and private schooling, and within public schooling, there's not just one way through which the government can intervene in the economy, like providing free public education, but for instance, there is also the tools of vouchers. So we want to analyze, for instance, what is the effect of vouchers, what are the implications, the pros and cons of using this type of financing scheme within the educational sector. While still looking at education, I will focus on the process of skill formation and take a special look at what happens early in childhood, because it's now very well documented that what happens early in childhood affects who you will be later on in your life, and especially your labor market performance. So we will be looking at policies which support, let's say, early childhood, and see what are the different tools that we have available. It could be public subsidies, or it could be other specific form of taxation, and again, study how they can interact with the human capital formation process. This will be a way through which I will move to a third topic of the course, which is gender and gender economics. We will be studying gender gap in employment, wages, and careers, and we will try to analyze both the causes of these and especially the policies which can help us to overcome issues related to gender gaps. And while studying gender, I will also focus on issues of gender culture and how culture can affect the outcomes in the labor market and the differences in outcome in the labor market between men and women. And the last topic I'm going to focus on is again related to the welfare state, but instead of focusing on a closed economy environment, I will be looking at an open economy environment and study issues related to, for instance, how does factor mobility influence government policy, or how can we set migration policies, and how do migration policies interact again with the decision to invest in human capital. And here we will be looking at issues related to the brain gain or to the brain drain. What is the approach, if you want, that I'm trying to follow in this course? The course tries to, if you want, strike a balance between the development of theoretical tools, of advanced theoretical tools to analyze public economic issues, the use of empirical methods to assess the impact of government intervention, but also the provision of some institutional details. So the idea is just to combine the theoretical tools with the empirical analysis and with the institutional detail. The instruments will be mainly the use of journal articles and papers, so there's no textbooks, but there are lecture notes, and there is a web page on which you can find the slides for the course. And in terms of assessment, there's a written exam, and there's the possibility to take a midterm. And we also have students' presentation. Generally, it's a group students' presentation, which are delivered at the end of the course, and we agree together on the topics you want to analyze. Most of them are taken, for instance, from the reference list, but if you have other interests which can interact with the topics we have analyzed in the course, I'm willing to have a look at them also. And there are also some tutorials, especially for the first part of the course, which will help you, especially in developing the theoretical tools. I think that the course can interact well both with the labor economics course and also with the microeconometrics course in terms of especially tools that we can use then in this course, and maybe also with the political economy one, and maybe something else. I'm going to listen to the presentations by my other colleagues so that I see how my course interacts with them more strictly. I think that this is all, and if you have a question, you can write me emails, and that's it.